Hi there, it's your Uncle Timmy again. Um, I've been asked to state my opinion on a certain subject. Um, Apparently, somebody wants to hear how I feel about it. Pretty sure that David Waters already knows how I feel about it. I think he just wants to hear it from my own words. So here we go. Sally Kern is a representative down in the state House of Representatives in Oklahoma, and she is the very epitome of a hater. Um, she is very much against anything having to do with equality um, or protection for the LGBT community. And it's really, really um, sad that she has to be so hateful all the time. She's introducing a couple of bills this year that are really not that good for LGBT youth. I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see um, that I'm getting the right things said here. Um, House Bill 1598 is one of the bills that she's introducing and that she's sponsoring. And basically, what it's going to do is it's going to allow for parents to force their children into conversion therapy. If you have never been involved in conversion therapy, if you've only sort of heard about it and you don't really know, let me tell you something. It does not work. It is probably the worst fallacy ever pushed onto any group of human beings. Um, I know this experientially. I went through conversion therapy. I was a member of an ex gay ministry. I was even a leader in ex gay ministry. I know what conversion therapy says, and I know that it does not work. In fact, many people who have been in charge of conversion therapy even helped um, create some conversion therapy um, groups and that type of thing have since stepped down and closed the doors. Um, Exodus International right now is probably the largest, and most of its original set of leaders have already stepped down. It's basically running a very skeleton crew right now, just with people who are adamant about the fact that God has changed them. Um, but it does not work to the point that it actually creates um, depression um, so deep. There's a lot of stress involved with conversion therapy. Um, there's a lot of self-loathing um, um, involved in it. It is probably one of the worst things perpetrated on mankind. Um, I don't I don't believe in it in the least, and m- many, in fact, probably about 98 to 99% of any psychologist, psychiatrist um, will you can check for yourself. They actually none of them agree with it. They all find it to be um, not therapeutic at all. Um, it it creates more problems than it serves, and that's mainly because you are who you are. Period. To try to change that, you can change behavior, but you cannot change who you are. And and it is the worst possible torture that someone can do on somebody because it's mental and emotional, and it's really going too far into the psyche and causing that person all sorts of pain. And when I think that this woman wants to allow parents to force their children into this, forcing their children into created depression. I mean, teenagers are bad enough with with the sadness and the depression that they feel naturally. just with her changing bodies and everything. It's even worse. Add to that a teenager realizes that he or she is gay, um, or transgender, and has to deal with that as well. It's an awkward time anyway. And then to say that a parent is going to be allowed to force their children into this therapy that isn't really therapy. What it is it's brainwashing, and force them to live a life that is not who they are, and telling them that God will change them. All they need is the faith. Well, God isn't going to change them. And the thing is that if you're being told constantly that you don't have the faith enough to change, and you understand in your head that there is no changing going on, you're still attracted to the guy that walks down the street without a shirt on. You're still looking at him. You're still looking at the girl that has the bikini on and all of that, even though you've got your arms wrapped around this guy. So you cannot change who you are. Sexuality is immutable. Our sexual orientation is completely unchangeable. You cannot do it. Um, and so this woman, this ignorant woman, who is a representative in Oklahoma, is trying to do this. It is a travesty. But that's not all she's doing. She is also, let me see if I can find it here. She's also sponsoring House Bill 3044, and that will essentially cut out any advocacy that a teenager has in school or anywhere else, when they come out and they're trying to figure out who they are. Because the school counselors and school teachers, any school administrators, will be um, unable to pass on information to this child that would help him or her in the coming out process. Um, they wouldn't be able to hand them pamphlets for PFLAG. They wouldn't be able to hand them pamphlets for the Trevor Project or the Matthew Shepard Foundation. They wouldn't be able to, if there's um, a local group, like up in Seattle. There's a organization called Lambert House that really works with LGBT youth and their parents in the coming out process. It's a wonderful organization, but the high schools would be unable in Oklahoma to give out any information to a child like that. This has got to stop. I don't care. I could really give a fuck less who you worship. I really don't care. You could worship the tree in your backyard as far as I'm concerned, but the minute that you start forcing your beliefs onto other people, especially a teenager, then you need to shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, and allow the world to go on. Because guess what? My world does not revolve around your religion. Nobody's world revolves around your religion. You don't get to pick and choose how people live and how people survive. And I keep hearing it's against nature and it's against God and blah blah blah. Well, there are a lot of things that are written in the Old Testament that are sins unto death. I keep hearing that there are people that there are pastors that want us to be stoned. They want us to be locked up and phew, hell, as much as put into gas chambers. Um, but there are a lot of things that these people do on a daily basis that are also sins unto death. I bet they eat a whole lot of shrimp, crab, lobster. I bet they eat a whole lot of sturgeon, halibut, cod. I'll bet they dress with cotton blends, um, fabrics, two mixed fabrics. That's a sin unto death. And I bet these pastors allow their wives to sleep in the house during their periods, but she's actually supposed to be in a tent outside during her period because she's unclean. And it's a sin unto death to sleep with her. It's a sin unto death to touch her during her menstrual cycle. Um, if you are planting crops and you happen to plant corn and beans in the same field, guess what? That's a sin. It's an abomination. We just got done with the Super Bowl yesterday. Way to go, Broncos. Um, but touching the skin of a dead pig is a sin unto death. So um, you need to stop cherry picking, Christians, and all of you representatives and senators and governors and lieutenant governors and presidential candidates who are saying over and over again that they're going to do this, that, and the other thing in order to get us closer to God. Well, we are not a Christian nation. We never have been a Christian nation. We don't make laws based on your Christian beliefs. We make laws based on the Constitution that has absolutely nothing referring to God. There's only one reference to religion, and that is the First Amendment. Congress shall make no law regarding the establishment of a religion, nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. You can feel free to worship any way you want because that is one of our rights. But you don't have the right. Your right to worship the way you want to ends when you start butting into other people's lives and forcing them to live your way. You don't get to. Sally Kern, you don't get to. So what I'm saying to all of my friends out there, especially those of you who live in Oklahoma, please, please try to shut this woman down. Everything that she puts out there, all of her House bills, try to make sure that they get shut down. Write your other Congress people. Write to your other representatives. Go in there. Fight that bill with everything. You're the people. The government is supposed to be for the people, by the people. So go ahead and do it. Make sure that you're out there and you're fighting this woman's bills every single time. And sorry, Christians, you also don't get to play the martyr. When you're trying to discriminate against somebody and they come up against you, you don't get to play martyr and say, you're discriminating against my religious views. No, you don't get to. Because what we're doing is we're not discriminating against your religious views. What we're doing is we are fighting against your discriminatory acts and fighting against your pushing your religion onto us. That's what we're doing. Simple as that. There is no discrimination on our part. It's your part. For now, I'm going to let it go. I've been talking for about 14 minutes, and I'm going to let you make any comments or anything like that you wish, and I will talk to you later. Love you all.